Chitasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu palabdhaye vastu siddhir vicharena na kinchit karma kotibihi. Chitasya, of the mind, shuddhaye, for purification, karma, action, natu, not at all, vastu upalabdhaye, for the attainment of the real, vastu siddhihi, attainment of the real, vicharena, through discriminative analysis, not, kinchit, in the least, karma kotibihi, by crores of actions. Karma yoga leads to purification of the mind, not to perception of the reality. Realization of truth is attained by discrimination, and not in the least by 10 million actions. Namaste. So, Karma yoga. What is karma yoga? Karma yoga are religious actions that are performed with the mind and senses. Now, the mind and senses are dualistic. They're material, manifestations, phenomena. They are objects of consciousness. It's not that we are the body and the mind, but we are aware of the body and mind as objects of our consciousness. So they are not the self. They are different. Because we are aware of them, because they are objects, they are like tools. Now, the mind has become impure by means of material association. Every day we see so many nonsense things in the world, on TV, on the internet, whatever. And these impressions make the mind impure. They contaminate our intelligence. So, because we're comparing the state of the mind in the ordinary state of being with the enlightened mind, we can readily see that these material impressions are impurities. They're suffering. They bring pain. Like, look at the architecture in the world today. It's ugly. It's so unnatural, all these square concrete boxes. I mean, really, it's horrible. You compare that to Renaissance architecture, or even village architecture in India, where homes are made of a paste of cow dung and lime with a little cement, and roofs are made from grass and banana leaves and stuff like that. They're beautiful in comparison with today's nonsense, Bauhaus architecture. Ugly. So, but we have to see so many things. We have to see so many commercials on TV, if we watch TV, which I don't, because of the commercials. And because there is no interesting or elevating subject matter available. That's why I stick to YouTube and I select very carefully what videos I view. And those are only without ads. So in this way, we encounter so many contaminating influences in the material world. Before we are fit for self-realization, these have to be purified. And the means to purification is karma yoga. Performing the ritualistic activities, the religious rituals such as homa, japa, puja, and so on. Study of the Vedas. And these things purify the mind, which is very nice. But it will not give you moksha. Why? Because, again, all these things are material. They're in dualism. Jagrat consciousness. And they cannot be removed from that. It is their very nature. So to be involved with the mind and senses at all is Jagrat, is dualism, is contaminated consciousness. We can't avoid it. But we can bring it into line with the Vedic instructions by performing the rituals that purify the body and mind. And how does that help us attain self-realization? Well, it's just like if I'm in a dark room at night wearing sunglasses, I'm not going to be able to see very well. And so similarly, in the dark material world, we're wearing the sunglasses of a contaminated mind. We're not going to be able to see properly. So we'll make mistakes. We'll get things wrong. We'll misunderstand. And we'll do wrong actions. So those will bear karma in the form of suffering. The consequences of sin is hell. That's in the Bible somewhere. The wages of sin is death, I think is another quote from the New Testament. So when we sin, that is when we go away from our real nature and fall into the material world, into duality, we cannot help but perform sin, which means the original word for sin in Greek in the Bible simply means missing the mark, like an arrow, shooting an arrow and missing the target. So sin means we miss the opportunity for self-realization. We get it wrong. We miss the target and we don't get the result. But purification of the mind is a necessary preliminary for self-realization. Why? Because how can we understand this exalted philosophy with an impure mind? Not possible. We have to purify the mind so we are capable of understanding Advaita philosophy. And then once we understand it, we have to mananam, we have to think it through until we can apply it in any circumstance, in any situation. And then nididhyasana, sit down and realize it. We are issuing a series of videos based on the only one logic of Advaita. And these contain awareness exercises that allow you to realize in just a few minutes all of the basic truths of non-duality, Advaita philosophy. And these are available here on the YouTube channel, but more importantly, they're available on our CRC Discourse site, the community discussion site, which includes a full commentary, explanation, and also discussion on these important truths. So if you join our community discourse site, then you can access the complete material, all of the discussions and so on, which are fascinating, on these important truths. The axioms of Advaita. By abstracting the teachings of Advaita Vedanta into mathematical axioms, we have mathematically proved that the Advaita philosophy is completely logical. This is unprecedented. That a major religious teaching has been shown to be absolutely bulletproof, conceptually. Now, of course, you still have to sit down and realize it. because no amount of thinking or reasoning can give you the consciousness of Brahman, the realization of Brahman. But they can clarify the path. I always like to tell people that right understanding is what leads to self-realization almost automatically. So if you can get this right understanding, you can very easily realize Brahman and end all suffering forever.
Om Tat Sat, Om Shakti Om.